Hi, family. So, I wanted to do a separate video to let you know the details of my introduction to being a diabetic. So, it was May of 2016, and I was feeling hot. Not like a sweating hot or anything, but just like, isn't it kind of hot in here type thing? And I didn't think anything of it because my AC was broke. And it was May, and I live in the South. And so I just kind of brushed it off as, oh, I feel hot because it's hot outside. I don't have good air conditioning in here. And I'm drinking more water. So because I'm drinking more water, I'm peeing more. But other than that, those were my only symptoms. So I go to lay down on the couch, and for some reason I thought my throat was getting kind of sore. So I text my mom a message, and she responded back to me. It was about 12 o'clock in the day on a Tuesday. And so I go to lay down, and that's all I remember. The next thing I remember was waking up in the ICU unit on a Thursday. So between 12 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday and waking up early Thursday morning in the ICU, I have no memory whatsoever of what happened to me. But my family and my friends helped piece together what really happened. So I go to sleep, and my mom doesn't hear from me for several hours that evening. And she gets to thinking, okay, she said she was feeling kind of sick. And I lived by myself. And my mom, she's calling me, she's texting me, she's calling my house phone, calling my cell phone. I'm not answering. And that's just totally not like something I would do. So she calls a friend who doesn't live very far, about 20 minutes away, and she asks him to, why don't you go over to the house and check on her? I think something's wrong. So he comes, and before he gets there, my mom calls my sister, who lives out of town, and says, something is wrong. I haven't heard from your sister. So my sister calls me, and she says I answered the phone, but I'm completely talking off my head, not making any sense whatsoever. So my sister calls my friend, who's on the way to my house, and says, you need to call the ambulance. Something is wrong. He gets to the house. He says, it's dark outside. There are no lights on the porch, nothing. So he's banging on the door. And he says, eventually, I open up the door. Again, I have no memory of any of this. And so I open up the door. I let him in. The ambulance comes, and they try to check my blood sugar. And it just reads high, which means it's too high for the ambulance to even read. It would take a hospital device in order to really read that it was 1,315. They get me to the hospital, and I'm combative, I'm fighting, I'm totally out of my character, but I don't remember a thing. So the only thing I can remember is like flashes of people. I remember seeing like my brother, my sister, my mother, and the friend that had the ambulance take me to the hospital. Those are the only things that I remember from Tuesday afternoon until Thursday morning. So I'm giving you the details of this just to let you know, as a caution, that when you feel a little out of sorts, even if it's just a little bit, I didn't have the classic symptoms of what was called diabetic ketoacidosis. They said that my stomach should have been hurting, that my vision should have been blurred, that I should have had all these other things. But to me, I was just a little hot, and I was drinking a little bit more water, and I was peeing a little bit more. But again, I didn't recognize it because I was a fit person. I had been a vegetarian, and it would have never crossed my mind that I was diabetic. Long story short, they had to do the testing because my blood sugar was so high to determine if I was a type 1 or a type 2 diabetic. it came back that even though my blood sugar was way off the charts, I was actually a type 2 diabetic. I was on insulin therapy for about 6 weeks, and then, bam, I didn't need insulin anymore. But I do require medications in order to keep my diabetes under control. So thanks for listening. Just wanted to give you the details of my story. So if you have anything that even remotely sounds like what I do, go get it checked out. It's always better to be, overprotective or than to be sorry. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later.